Welcome. Today we are looking at environmental chemistry. This is a key topic in your chemistry exams for SS3. Pay close attention. Let us begin. First, let me explain what environmental chemistry is. Environmental chemistry is the study of chemical processes occurring in the environment. It focuses on the sources, reactions, transport, effects, and fates of chemical species in air, water, and soil. Environmental chemistry is concerned with pollution and its effects on human health and ecosystems. It is also concerned with the remediation of polluted environments. Understanding environmental chemistry is essential for addressing environmental problems. It helps us develop solutions for pollution, climate change, and resource depletion. It is a growing field of study. Environmental chemistry is important for sustainable development. Now, let me explain air pollution. Air pollution is the presence of harmful substances in the air. These substances are called pollutants. Primary pollutants are emitted directly into the air. Examples include carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and particulate matter. Secondary pollutants are formed in the air by chemical reactions. Examples include ozone, smog, and acid rain. Carbon monoxide is produced by incomplete combustion. It is toxic. It binds to hemoglobin. It prevents oxygen from being transported. Sulfur dioxide is produced by burning fossil fuels. It causes respiratory problems. It contributes to acid rain. Nitrogen oxides are produced by combustion in vehicles and power plants. They contribute to smog and acid rain. Particulate matter is small particles suspended in the air. It causes respiratory and cardiovascular problems. It is produced by combustion and industrial processes. Ozone is a secondary pollutant. It is formed by the reaction of nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compounds in sunlight. It causes respiratory problems. It damages plants. Now, let me explain the effects of air pollution. Air pollution has many harmful effects. It affects human health. It causes respiratory diseases like asthma and bronchitis. It causes cardiovascular diseases. It causes cancer. It affects the environment. It damages crops and forests. It acidifies lakes and rivers. It damages buildings and monuments. It contributes to climate change. Greenhouse gases trap heat in the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide are greenhouse gases. They are produced by burning fossil fuels, agriculture, and industrial processes. The increase in greenhouse gases is causing global warming. Global warming leads to climate change. Climate change causes extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and loss of biodiversity. Air pollution is a serious global problem. Now let me explain the control of air pollution. Air pollution can be controlled by several methods. The first method is reducing emissions at the source. This includes using cleaner fuels, improving combustion efficiency, and using renewable energy. The second method is using pollution control devices. Scrubbers remove sulfur dioxide from flue gases. Catalytic converters reduce emissions from vehicles. They convert carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, and hydrocarbons into less harmful substances. The third method is using alternative energy sources. Solar, wind, and hydroelectric power produce no air pollution. The fourth method is planting trees. Trees absorb carbon dioxide and produce oxygen. They also filter particulate matter from the air. The fifth method is legislation. Governments can set limits on emissions. They can enforce these limits with fines and penalties. The control of air pollution is essential for protecting human health and the environment. Now, let me explain water pollution. Water pollution is the contamination of water bodies by harmful substances. These substances include chemicals, pathogens, and waste. Water pollution affects rivers, lakes, oceans, and groundwater. Sources of water pollution include industrial waste, agricultural runoff, sewage, and oil spills. Industrial waste contains heavy metals like lead, mercury, and cadmium. These metals are toxic. They accumulate in the food chain. Agricultural runoff contains fertilizers and pesticides. Fertilizers cause eutrophication. Eutrophication is the excessive growth of algae. It depletes oxygen in the water. Fish die. Pesticides are toxic to aquatic life. They can also affect human health. Sewage contains pathogens. It causes waterborne diseases like cholera and typhoid. Oil spills are caused by accidents. They coat the surface of the water. They kill marine life. They damage coastlines. Now let me explain the effects of water pollution. Water pollution has many harmful effects. It affects human health. Contaminated water causes diseases. It causes gastrointestinal problems. It causes skin infections. It causes cancer. It affects aquatic life. Pollutants kill fish and other organisms. They disrupt the food chain. They cause loss of biodiversity. It affects the environment. Polluted water damages ecosystems. It makes water unsuitable for drinking, irrigation, and recreation. It affects the economy. Cleanup costs are high. The loss of fisheries affects livelihoods. The tourism industry suffers. Water pollution is a serious problem. It requires urgent attention. Now, let me explain the treatment of water. Water can be treated to remove pollutants. The first step is screening. Large objects are removed. The second step is sedimentation. The water is allowed to stand. Solids settle to the bottom. The third step is filtration. The water is passed through sand and gravel. Suspended solids are removed. The fourth step is disinfection. Chlorine is added to kill pathogens. Ozone and ultraviolet light are also used. Wastewater treatment is more complex. It involves primary treatment, secondary treatment, and tertiary treatment. Primary treatment removes solids. Secondary treatment uses bacteria to break down organic matter. Tertiary treatment removes nutrients and other pollutants. Treated water can be discharged into the environment or reused. Now, let me explain soil pollution. Soil pollution is the contamination of soil by harmful substances. These substances include heavy metals, pesticides, and industrial waste. Soil pollution affects agriculture. It reduces crop yields. It contaminates food. It affects human health. It affects ecosystems. Soil pollution is caused by industrial activities, mining, agriculture, and waste disposal. Heavy metals like lead and cadmium are toxic. They accumulate in the soil. They are taken up by plants. They enter the food chain. Pesticides are used in agriculture. They kill pests. They also harm beneficial organisms. They persist in the soil. They contaminate groundwater. Soil pollution can be remediated by several methods. Phytoremediation uses plants to remove pollutants. Bioremediation uses microorganisms to break down pollutants. Soil washing removes pollutants from the soil. Landfilling contains the pollutants. Soil pollution is a growing concern. Now let me explain waste management. Waste management is the collection, transport, treatment, and disposal of waste. Waste is classified as solid waste, liquid waste, and gaseous waste. Solid waste includes household waste, industrial waste, and construction waste. Liquid waste includes sewage and industrial effluents. Gaseous waste includes air pollutants. Waste management is important for protecting the environment. The first step is waste reduction. Reduce the amount of waste produced. The second step is reuse. Use items again. The third step is recycling. Convert waste into new products. The fourth step is composting. Convert organic waste into fertilizer. The fifth step is incineration. Burn waste to produce energy. The sixth step is landfilling. Dispose of waste in landfills. The waste hierarchy is reduce, reuse, recycle, recover, and dispose. This hierarchy is used to manage waste sustainably. Now, let me explain the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is the warming of the Earth's surface due to greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases trap heat in the atmosphere. They allow sunlight to pass through. They absorb infrared radiation. They re-emit it back to the Earth. This warms the Earth. The natural greenhouse effect is essential for life. It keeps the Earth warm. Without it, The Earth would be too cold. However, human activities have increased greenhouse gases. The enhanced greenhouse effect is causing global warming. Global warming is causing climate change. The effects of climate change are serious. They include rising sea levels, more frequent extreme weather events, and loss of biodiversity. Mitigation of climate change requires reducing greenhouse gas emissions. This includes using renewable energy, improving energy efficiency, and protecting forests. A common exam question asks you to identify the sources of air pollution. Here is a sample answer. Sources of air pollution include burning fossil fuels, industrial processes, vehicles, and agriculture. Primary pollutants are emitted directly. Examples include carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and particulate matter. Secondary pollutants are formed in the air. Examples include ozone and acid rain. Air pollution causes respiratory problems, cardiovascular problems, and cancer. It also damages the environment. Another exam question asks you to explain the greenhouse effect. Here is your answer. The greenhouse effect is the warming of the Earth's surface due to greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases trap heat in the atmosphere. They absorb infrared radiation. They re-emit it back to the Earth. This warms the Earth. The natural greenhouse effect is essential for life. Human activities have increased greenhouse gases. This is causing global warming. Global warming leads to climate change. Another exam question asks you to describe the treatment of water. Here is your answer. Water is treated to remove pollutants. Screening removes large objects. Sedimentation allows solids to settle. Filtration removes suspended solids. Disinfection kills pathogens. Chlorine, ozone, and ultraviolet light are used. Wastewater treatment involves primary, secondary, and tertiary treatment. Primary treatment removes solids. Secondary treatment uses bacteria to break down organic matter. Tertiary treatment removes nutrients and other pollutants. Let me give you a quick summary. Environmental chemistry studies chemical processes in the environment. Air pollution is caused by harmful substances in the air. Water pollution is contamination of water bodies. Soil pollution is contamination of soil. Waste management involves reduction, reuse, recycling, composting, incineration, and landfilling. The greenhouse effect is warming due to greenhouse gases. Climate change is caused by global warming. Environmental chemistry is essential for solving environmental problems. Practice these concepts. When you have them down, move to topic 10.